Next is architecture program and skills assessment. Architecture program. What is the HR architecture? So HR department, there is different functions or various functions in the HR department, and how that HR department can be built. So many in that HR department, many functions are there, and what are all the workforce and what are all the culture, with what culture and with what workforce this HR department is built with. Say for example, in HR department of an organization, what are the different functions? In HR department, HR leaders will be there, HR competency, policies and procedures. So for that, you will have to plan the workforce. That is, for HR department, you have to plan the human capital commitment. So what is the qualification of the employees? What is how they are going to work? What is the duties and responsibility of the employees in the HR department? So their norms, beliefs and culture. So that is the various functions with which the particular department is built with. That is called architecture of a particular department. So in HR department, the HR architecture is, the HR department is built with HR leader, HR competency, HR policies and procedures. These are all the functions that HR department is built with. It is not the HR department. They have given wrong. It is not like that. In this HR department, HR leader is there, HR competency, HR policies and procedures is there. So how this HR department is built with? So what are all the human capital is needed for the HR department? What are all the qualification, the roles and responsibilities they have to do with the HR department and their culture? Next is skill assessment. Skill assessment process. What is skill assessments? HR skill assessment is a process. HR skill assessment process is a scientifically validated pre-hire assessment that checks the competency of a candidate for a particular job role. The following competencies are checked through the skill assessment process. So here, as we already discussed that in the contribution of HR strategies, we have discussed the recruitment and selection. In that recruitment and selection, what the HR has to do, that they have to strongly communicate the employer brand to impress the candidate. So it is not only you have to communicate the, it is not only that you have to strongly communicate the employer brand with the candidates to impress the candidates to apply in the organization. It is not only that once the candidate has applied in the organization, as the HR, you have to assess, you have to analyze the skills of the employee. So you have to analyze the skills, whether the employee is suitable for a particular department or a particular job. So that is the skills assessment. So based on which the skill assessment is, assessment can be done by the HR through the cognitive ability, domain ability, ability to manage work, ability to manage people. So these are all the skills that the HR has to check with the candidate. The first thing is cognitive ability. What is cognitive ability? Cognitive ability is critical thinking, verbal reasoning, abstract reasoning. So critical thinking, check the rational thinking of the candidate based on the assumption, interference and arguments. So you will be, that is the group discussion. Okay, so you will be giving some topic. So how the employee or how the candidate is quickly responding to that question, or how the candidate is quickly responding to that argument, or whatever the situation you are giving in the interview. Next is verbal reasoning. Verbal reasoning, candidate must have the ability to convey the message effectively in a precise manner with clarity by formulating grammatically correct sentence. This is comprehensive writing. So if you say in some big organization, so they will be giving some comprehensive writing. So why they are giving the comprehensive writing? So only to check the verbal reasoning of the verbal skill of the candidate. Next is abstract reasoning. Candidates need to analyze the information, deduct patterns and relationship, solve complex and intangible problems also that they can perform well in their situation. So some interview, they will be providing the uh, problems, mathematical problems, logical problems, analytical problems. So that when there is a situation in the job, if the employee has to face some difficult situation in the job, how well the employee can able to handle the problem. So they can check with the abstract reasoning by giving some relationship problems, by giving some logical reasoning, by giving some analytical reasoning. So these are all the methods the HR can use, and they can assess the skill of the employees, how the employee can handle the difficult situation in the job. Next is domain ability. Domain ability means how well the employee is skilled and knowledge in their domain. Say for example, if you are hiring an employee for software, computer software like Oracle or Python or SQL. So for any other software, you are hiring an employee. So whether the employee is skilled in that domain, in that particular software. So that is the uh, assessment. That is this assessment you are giving for the employee, or that is the assessment you are giving for the candidate to check the domain ability. So it checks the candidate's in-depth knowledge on a specific domain, capable of completing tasks on a particular area effectively and efficiently. Their ability should direct support the company's mission and strategic goals. So if you are why the HR is checking the domain ability? So if the candidate is strong in their domain, they can able to complete the task within the stipulated time. Within this stipulated time, effectively and efficiently, that will support the company to achieve their mission and vision. Next is ability to manage work. Process orientation, strategic orientation, change management. Process orientation, ability to follow standard procedures, maintaining the rules and regulations of the work. So, if you hiring a candidate means you should not check only their skills and knowledge with the candidate, but you have to assess the discipline of the candidates, whether the candidate can able to follow the procedures of the organization. They can able to they can able to maintain and follow the rules and regulations of the organization. Strategic orientation, able to consider the short and long-term implication of one's action and decision on the organization. So in this strategic orientation, you have to consider the candidate, whether the candidate is able to take the responsibility of their actions, responsibility of their actions and decisions in the organization. Change management. Candidates should have the ability to communicate the need and the rationale for change, and ensuring that all the stakeholders are comfortable with it. So you have to check the ability of the candidate, whether the candidate can able to communicate their need, and if there is any change in the organization, that the candidate is able to communicate with the management people, or they can able to communicate if the organization is having any stakeholders. Next is ability to manage work, execution excellence, ethical propensity, planning and organizing. Execution excellence. Candidates should display strong will to consistently achieve extraordinary goals to set high standard for quality result. So in this execution excellence, the candidate should have the ability to display their skills, and they should display their skills and knowledges to their management. That is, they have to give the highest performance. Next is ethical propensity. A candidate will be checked on ethical grounds so that all the internal and external stakeholders can trust him. So if the organization is having any stakeholders or shareholders means, so whatever the candidates you are hiring, so that should be for hiring not in the lower level but in the higher level. If you are hiring a candidate for a top management, you should satisfy the stakeholders. You should satisfy the stakeholders, that is the skills or knowledges the candidate is having, that will help the organization to grow in a better way. The candidate is having the ability to execute their talent for the organization. Next, planning and organizing. Candidates are required to accomplish the given objectives and should have the ability to prioritize tasks and shuffle between various tasks to minimize efficiency, to maximize efficiency. So once the tasks are assigned to the employees, a number of tasks are assigned to the employees, candidates should have the ability to list out the priority of the task. They have the ability to work according to the priority of the task. So if the candidate has the ability to work according to the priority level, then the efficiency of the work will increase. So it will show that the candidate will efficiently work with the organization. Next is effective communication. It includes appropriate form of communication with expressing one's thought and idea clearly. So effective communication, the candidate should have the ability to communicate whatever the problems or whatever the ideas the candidate is having. They should clearly express with the others, or the candidate should have the ability to clearly express their views and ideas to the management level of people or senior level of people. Next, networking. Professional networks and personal relationship plays a crucial role in individuals as well as organizational success. So here, the professional network and personal relationship. So it denotes as this networking and team management. It denotes the team only. So that is, if you are coordinating with the other employees in the other department, means how well the employee is able to coordinate with the other employees. So it is like the purchase department employee, they have to coordinate with sales department. So to extract the work from the, or to extract the requirement, to know the requirement of the sales department, so only then they can able to purchase the raw material for production. So they have to coordinate with the other department. How well the candidate is able to coordinate with other employees in the organization. Next, how well the employee can able to build a team. How well the employee can able to cooperate or coordinate with the other employees so that they can achieve the common goals and objectives.